So when it comes to He-Man and Kevin Smith, apparently his co-workers, they were ashamed of his behavior. They went out, they mocked him openly, and this stuff, oh, it is absolutely hilarious to look at. So hey there to all you fine folks on this fine day, by the way. I hope you are doing excellently. So I'm sure by now you've heard about Kevin Smith pretty much crying all the time. He posts pictures of himself crying. He posts videos of himself doing it. Well, did you know that his co-workers on He-Man, apparently they were ashamed and embarrassed by this, and they brought this stuff up in interviews, and they mocked it accordingly. See, I didn't realize how much this subject comes up to until I started looking for it. Here's an interview with Uproxx, for example, talking about He-Man, talking about his reaction to things, and it will be built on by writers later on. So, he's asked a question, and this is his response. And it's not narcissistic, talking about him going in and watching all of this stuff, because I didn't write every episode. I was involved in it, and it's my story, and bleep, but other people brought wonderful things to it that made me appreciate it even more. So I was in this weird position of I could see this thing that others couldn't and watch it develop, and it was so joyous to watch it come together, visually, orally, with the sound and whatnot, the special effects. Pat and Adam, I saw the first color version they did, and I was like, this is effing stunning. And they were like, well, we're only 50% done. So when they got to their final, they were so right to keep me patient. So I would get emotional. I would sit and watch in the morning. And what did Kevin Smith do while he was watching? Did he eat cereal? Did he hang out? Oh no, he sat around and cried. Now, it might be one thing if Kevin Smith were doing this by himself, but oh no, this is Kevin Smith, the same guy again that likes to upload pictures of himself to Twitter crying. He likes to upload videos of himself crying to YouTube. So when it comes to this show here, of course, he's going to send pictures of himself crying to his team. He's going to cry at the drop of the hat about everything. And you know what? The people that work with him, they're going to mock him accordingly for it. This comes up in an interview. This is with Queerty. The headline of it is Homoeroticism and Masters of the Universe Revelation. You should check that out, by the way, because it includes so many themes before they were ever dropped that were denied by Kevin Smith. But the crying thing, it comes up right here. Now, I'm going to read you how they get to it. There's going to be more of it too. Yeah, buckle up, because like I said, they're ashamed of him, and they're going to mock him before coming to their senses. So, I agree with Tim. The other thing that I hope is coming through in Revelations is that these are real heroes. Sometimes heroes are even more heroic the more they have to overcome. And at the end of the day, these people really care about each other. They love each other. That's why we care about the stakes. They're good people in dire situations. One thing we wanted to do is deconstruct some of these characters and put them back together again. These are two characters that Tim just knocked out of the park, Evelyn and Orko. Then they bring up Kevin Smith. Oh man. So without spoiling anything, there's an episode where Orko and Evelyn get to take center stage that has some of the most beautiful and illuminating dialogue that sells those characters in an amazing way. The script came in and Kevin Smith texted me, "Did you read it yet?" And he sent a picture to me of himself crying. Now think about how odd this behavior is. Not just to send to a coworker. I mean, that would be strange enough. But this guy, he's not their coworker. He's their boss. These people are his subordinates. So he's asking them, hey, have you seen the new script? Have you checked this out? And then to convey emotion, he sends a picture like we would see on Twitter of himself crying. That's how he talks to his subordinates. No wonder you have the product that we ended up with, and no wonder these folks, they seem embarrassed and they laugh at it. Now, the interviewer, for their part, they don't really seem to know how to respond to this, and I don't blame them. They're probably getting paid to do this interview first and foremost. They don't want to burn Mattel. They don't want to burn Netflix. They want to keep that advertising dollar, and they want people to come back. So you can see see, they start off with that one word thing. Again, they don't know really what to say with this, and you can see them try to transition out of it when they start to mock Kevin Smith. So they respond, wow, wow, he's sending pictures of himself crying to his subordinates. Well, they continue with this. He was reading Tim's script, so he's reading the script here. He's looking at it, and he's crying about it. Then they add on this. Anyone out there that thinks that Kevin's tears are just for public consumption, he legitimately gets moved by this stuff. So they're telling you that it happens a lot. He gets moved by all kinds of things. Can you imagine, by the way, being in the writer's room or watching any of this stuff as it comes together? Yeah, that's got to be a mess. And the other person here, they add this and they start laughing about it too. He also cries at the drop of a hat. And you notice in the interview, they want to convey the idea that everybody starts laughing. They're not laughing with Kevin Smith. This isn't a joke here. The joke is Kevin Smith. The joke is the fact that this guy, he cries about every single thing. Again, when you bring something like that up, you're not bringing it up like saying, yeah, that's a good trait. You're bringing that up to say, this is embarrassing when you get down to it. Now, the person that brought this up, I think they have a moment of realization. The fact that Kevin, if he takes this as me making fun of him, he could actually fire me because, again, I'm a subordinate. So they bring up the idea, oh yeah, by the way, he's a wonderful man. After that, too, look at the interviewer. Look at them try to rebound this. Take it and say, yeah, that was great to know. That's a great setup. By the way, Tim, I invited you here for a couple of reasons. The first being that you wrote my favorite episode of the show. So you see that transition. Oh, that's a great setup, Tim. You're telling me about this guy here. He's crying over the fact that we have two characters. They go through this powerful change. Yeah, and you mocked him. You mocked him in the show that you're saying is metal. Oh, yeah, that really sounds great, right? Now, this isn't the only time this theme comes up. I mean, Kevin Smith, he brings it up again and again and again. In fact, I would challenge you to keyword Kevin Smith, He-Man, and crying, because you're going to come up with articles like this one from Collider. Kevin Smith on Masters of the Universe Revelation, treating He-Man like Shakespeare. And what's the other edition? This is the header for it, and what made him cry. You have other interviews too. They're more subtle about making fun of this stuff, but you can tell that it's embarrassing. People are uncomfortable about it. And why wouldn't they? I mean, I wouldn't know what to do if my boss acted like that. But yeah, I thought this was interesting. I don't remember anyone bringing up the fact that he gets put on blast by his own coworkers. Let me know what you think about that. As always, too, appreciate the heck out of you. You make this stuff work. Thank you. Want to help out the channel? Links in the description. You being here, though, that matters. So thank you. Appreciate you. Ending here. See you soon.